don't know me, let me talk about one sort of highlight of my political career. As you might know, I spent about 10 years of my life fighting to balance the budget. We went through thick and we went through thin. We went through government shutdowns. We went from fights inside the Republican Party, fights with Democrats. But you know what? At the end of the day, I was the chief architect of the first balanced budget in 40 years. We not only balanced the federal budget, we cut taxes for the American people on investing and risk-taking, and we paid down the largest amount of debt in the modern history of the United States. You can get it done if you put your mind to it, you put the public first, you stick with your principles, and then guess what, folks? I quit. And I decided to go out and be treated like all of you. I don't even get tickets to Ohio State football games, and when I do, I sit in CDAC. And you know what? When I get elected governor, I'm going to stay in CDAC, okay? So anyway, folks, it's great for me to be here. The one thing I would tell you about the movement is I've been on my buddy Sean Hannity's program and on Bill O'Reilly's, which I hosted for 10 years of my life. The other thing I will tell you is I get it because I'm you. I'm with you. I'm not holding elected office, and I'll tell you what it is. We've grown tired of the broken promises of politicians in both parties. And now a handful of them in Washington are plotting out our life behind closed doors. And in this state, we're in deep trouble. People are leaving when they're young, and people are leaving when they've been successful and old to escape taxation. And in our state of Ohio, we're in trouble. And the reason why I've come back into public life is because I want to dedicate myself to reforming this government, cutting the taxes in Ohio, getting the regulators under control, having the values in our schools that reflect our values at home, and fixing the state of Ohio and creating jobs and bringing prosperity back to our great state. Bill, I'm ready.
That's not bad, John. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Would you be Bob Taft or would you be Ronald Reagan?
I think Taft's, listen, in 1970, Reagan, Bill. Comes around about every 100 years, there's a Ronald Reagan. He's a great one.
Lincoln and Reagan. Let's hope we don't have to wait another 100 years. All right, first question for the next governor of the state of Ohio is, again, for Mitch Oliver. It seems like you're busy, but please go ahead for John Kasich.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Kasich. What specific changes will you pursue as governor to encourage new businesses to open in Ohio, existing businesses to expand in Ohio, and outside businesses to relocate or to expand into Ohio?
Well, look, the first thing is, I want to be governor, but my job's going to be to wake up every morning and go wherever I need to go to convince people to bring their businesses to this state so that people here can get a job. Now, we have too many barriers to entry. Our government is outdated, it's outmoded, and you know why? Because the special interests have called the tune and politicians have not done the right thing for many, many years in this state. We need to skinny down the government, have it as a last resort, make it work for us, and that provides the space for the tax cuts that we need. The work in there, they care sometimes a lot more about their bonuses than they do what the heck they're standing for. Now, we need to help the small businesses. We need to fix the regulators. Perot was right. They work for us. We don't work for them, plain and simple. And when they come in and hassle a small business person, they're stealing our jobs. I won't tolerate it, plain and simple. And we need to fix our education system and train our workers for the 21st century. Then we go out there and find those businesses. You know, the governor said the other day that they didn't return his calls when the NCR left Ohio. If they didn't return my call, I'd be sitting on the hood of their car demanding an explanation about what they're going to do to keep their businesses in Ohio. Plain and simple.
You know, John, I was talking to Richard K. Jones, the sheriff of Butler County earlier. He's a little liberal for my taste when it comes to certain issues, but Sheriff Jones said that good friend of yours, James Rhodes, had one simple motto when he ran for governor.
Jobs, jobs, and jobs.
16 years. How about
I'll tell you, let me tell you this, Bill. Jim Rhodes woke up one morning, was reading a newspaper many years ago, and he read that there was a guy over in Japan by the name of Mr. Honda who was going to build cars in America. He told his staffer, "You get me a ticket to Japan." They said, "Where are we going?" He said, "I don't know where we're going. We're just going." They went to Tokyo. They sat down with Mr. Honda and up in Marysville, Ohio. Since that visit to Japan, he has created thousands of jobs for people in this state. Their kids have gone to college and they've been able to succeed. You've got to work every day to sell Ohio, shine it back up, remove the barriers to entry, fix this state so people can have more prosperity.
Yeah. That's right, John. I would say unlimited freedom and limited government. Next up is Jim Hiles, a question for John Kasich.
There's been a lot of tough questions asked of politicians up here today. Wouldn't you agree? This one's about as much of a softball as you're going to get.
Softballs up here coming about 95 miles an hour. Right?
You got to admit, these are some of the most informed people in the country right here today. Every one of you paying attention. But this is my question. It's pretty simple. If elected to be our governor, would you stay and serve your full term before you would declare for any other office like Barack Obama did?
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you this. I'm only interested in one thing. I left the government and had a great degree of success. You know, I was also the chairman of the joint committee that reformed the welfare laws in this state. I mean, in this country. You had the balanced budget, a lot of good things. When I got it done, I left. I never thought I was coming back into this. And I want to tell you why I am. Because I've traveled the state for the last 2 years. And I want to say this, and I want you to hear it for real. I want to help people, period. I want to be a man of integrity. I want to be a good leader. And I want other young people in this country to realize you don't have to sacrifice your heart and soul and live out of the ditch in order to be a good leader. And the bottom line for me is I'm here to fix Ohio. That's it, sir. That's all I'm interested in. And then I can go back to the private sector, and these politicians ought to get in and get out and get in and get out. They shouldn't stay a lifetime and get carried out in the box, right?
So sir, is that
The answer is
that a yes?
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
First of all, do you regret your vote in the favor of the 1994 Clinton assault weapons ban? And will you publicly apologize for casting that vote against gun owners in these United States?
Yeah, let me just tell you this. I voted for that provision. I thought it might do good. I was wrong. It didn't have any impact. I've been voting with the NRA and gun owners about 95% of the time, and I've agreed with the NRA at times more than I've agreed with my wife. I think I got a pretty good record. I'm a gun owner myself. I believe in the right to keep and bear arms, to protect our homes, our families, to hunt. Bottom line is, I'm with you.
Okay, I got a future question since we covered the past. We want to know exactly what can concealed carry license holders, hunters, sportsmen, and other gun owners in Ohio expect from you as it relates to protecting and continuing the current governor's expansion of our firearm rights.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I'm as strong as anybody is, and I'll continue to be that way, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you believe the militia is a personal right to have gun ownership? Is it a personal right, or is it one that the courts can infringe upon?
No, it's a constitutional right to keep and bear arms.
So every American has the right.
I mean, look, the reason why, let me tell you, see, this movement that we're seeing here today is about the people taking control back. Okay, because what's happening is there's a handful of people that have gotten it wrong for too long who are now trying to be in a position to run our lives. That's what we don't want to. They want to tell us how they're going to run a car company. They want to tell us how to do medical care. They want to, and they're bankrupting our children. The bottom line is that we got to elect the people that are going to make sure that we got judges that are strict interpreters of the Constitution. Look, I'm a conservative. I was for Reagan before you were for Reagan. So, Willie, no more of those kind of questions. Thank you.
I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. All right, last question.